Hey, Dalek.
Yes?
Have you ever had a man chuck his creamy, sticky mess in your face?
Yes?
The stuff of nightmares now on BBC One in our psychic movie thriller. Be careful what you dream, it might come true. In
the Holocaust.
Bubble butt, bubble 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 butt, bubble butt, bubble 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 butt, bubble butt, bubble 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 butt. Turn around, stick it out, show the world you got a bubble butt, bubble 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 butt, bubble butt, bubble 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 butt, bubble butt, bubble 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 butt.
Welcome to our biggest ever sale. Bigger than Steam's biggest ever steaming pile. Thousands of unplayed games now discounted. Bigger, fat, chunkier. Every game, every DLC, every colour, every platform in their ham hock summer sale is reduced in price. Double discount sale savings on a huge range of games and stuff. Even at quadruple sale prices, you can take 4 years interest-free credit with nothing to play for the first year on everything.
Absolutely nothing to play here.
Absolutely everything. The great summer sale, up to 70% off content on selected games. Listen, surf, save. There is only one bouncy sale. Great games with over 50% of their quality taken out. It's all summer, only at
Holocaust in your lurk holes.
No hardcore gamer interest ever. With our famous 4 years content-free credit, moving to a new podcast couldn't be easier. At the big game sale, 4 years quality-free means you pay no interest to this podcast at all on whatever you play. Unlike some podcast sales, it's on everything we upload. There are no exceptions, no game worth buying, ever. We don't even ask for a deposit, but if you would prefer us to reduce your attention, you can pay a deposit. It's your choice. Hurry now while podcast lasts. Plus size games in sizes 18 to 42. Fantastic sale. Everything must go.
It's already gone.
Has it?
Not yet.
Up to half worth sale now on. Hurry, save now while interest wanes.
It's the motherfucking sale.
If interest wanes, we'll bring the big drop in. That's right, the big drop.
The megaphone.
Everything now 69p. No, now 60p. Now take that, App Store. Everything now free. All IPs smashed. Electronic Arts Origin sales won't get near our prices because they can't be asked. And if they try and get games cheaper anywhere else, go fuck it.
Sounds amazing. Yeah.
I think I've got hay fever. Or whatever that is. I don't know. Something like that. Nose is streaming. Eyes are watering. Don't feel like I've got a cold. It's just fucking annoying.
So your nose is streaming. Does it have to sign into the internet every 24 hours or it stops working?
No, apparently. My nose has had a U-turn recently and they decided that hay fever would not affect it in that way. Yes, it's so warm, so muggy, so hot. I'm expecting the Predator just to drop through my ceiling right now and
nice
challenge me to a little jerk off. Winner takes all, the jerk stakes.
I'm pretty sure Predators don't roll that way.
Well, they must reproduce, so they must have they're roughly humanoid. I'm guessing they have a penis of sorts. Something because they cover themselves down there. Yeah, they're quite naked everywhere else, apart from their like G-star string vest and trophies.
Yeah, but He-Man covers himself down there.
And
what about Skeletor? What can Skeletor have dangling between his blue muscular thighs?
A bone?
Well, I fucking walked into that, didn't I?
Yeah, just a little.
Hello, Dr. Hamhock. Hello, listeners. I'm Dalek Sex, aka the voice of sex. This is my compatriot, Dr. Hamhock.
We narrow the field just a little now as Whiskey reveals your comments in Points of View.
At the very top of our bulging mailbag this week, you may have noticed it's been in the corner.
Empty your sack all over me.
It's been in the flat all week. It's been building up because we've been on holiday in Spain, in Malgre in Spain, obviously. I've just picked a letter out the top, and would you like to read? Like to hear it?
Go ahead.
Okay, it's not that.
I don't know where that came from. I'll try it again, shall I? Go ahead.
Hang on a minute.
Go ahead.
Oh, Ronaldo. Nice to hear from you.
Welcome to my restaurant.
Thanks for bringing the sack in. Now, clear off. We were crafting. Doesn't sound like paper. So I've got this letter here. It's from Scott, by the looks of it. Scott, who has put his little Twitter address on there. So I'm sure he won't mind us sharing with @Snizmeniz29. I tell a lie, it's probably just @Snizmeniz, and it was sent on the 29th of May.
Fantastic, Hawk. Absolutely seamless. Hello, Scott Snizmeniz, who is a friend of The Holocaust and What a Fool Believes, which is another iTunes show that nobody else should miss. Continue.
And I think it's for our resident agony Uncle Newsbot. And it says, @Newsbot, we are the Holocaust. Uncle Newsbot, how can I explain to the wife all the pics of sexy Batman in my browser history, please? Help.
Good evening, Snizmeniz Dizzle. Thanks for your letter. Believe it or not, addiction to superheroes in shiny black leather is a very common problem, and is easily treated using the behavioral treatment known as CBT or cognitive Batman time as it is more widely known. Treatment is inexpensive and lasts only a few sessions. These sessions involved a few masturbatory techniques using photos of Burt Warder's visual stimulation for a few minutes every day. It is essential that Burt Warder's dressed as the boy wonder from the 70s TV series. The truth is that there really is no cure for sexy Batman time. You'll just develop an unhealthy habit of becoming aroused whenever you hear this sound effect. I hope this helps. You fucking twit. Good night, fans.
You got any sage advice there, Dalek?
Magnets,
clearing
over the hard drive.
Magnets.
It works for me. Well, I mean, I say it works for me, never been caught. Couldn't give you a definitive answer one way or the other.
You could always just be open about your problem. The first steps to it, to getting rid of the sexy Batman time problem is admitting you've got a sexy Batman time problem.
We at the Holocaust have always been fairly open about sexy Batman time.
I'm a bit overdosed with sexy Batman time.
Oh, hang on, sorry, I can't engage with this topic. I'm too busy thinking about sexy Batman time.
To the platform, right!
Who else but Hamhock?
I'm the devil, and dividing the internet up into a series of ordered lists was my idea. listeners. My name's Satan, and this week I'm going to be talking about the genre of music described by music journalists as made by Italians for the Japanese. And if that doesn't freeze the blood in your veins, then frankly, I'm not trying hard enough. Here's my top 5 Eurobeat songs. At number 5, Stamp on the Ground by the Italo Brothers.
Drop the beat.
Kicking off with a bit of classic Dance Dance Revolution. This one was made internet famous by Flash animator Star in a cartoon in which all her favourite characters, everything from Star Control 2 to The Road to El Dorado, play the game together. And if you find that sort of wickedness inspiring, you should check out her videos of the Phoenix Wright cast dancing to Mumbaleo by Luna, and Otacon from Metal Gear karaokeing to Things Can Only Get Better by D-Ream. At number 4, Boom Boom Dollar by King Kong and the Jungle Girls. Not only is this the tune which launched a generation of DDR fans and was instrumental in the success of the series, it contains veiled references to paedophilia, rhyming "You keep a pocket full of green, green dollar" with "I love your body so tight, you're very hard, you just like a young fella." Japanese, Italian, weeaboo explosion plus child molestation equals a win for evil in any language. At number 3, Waka Laka by Jenny Rom and the Zippers. You see, sometimes a song's made popular by a YouTube video, and sometimes it becomes so popular via YouTube that when you type the name of the song into the search bar, the actual original song is pushed off the bottom of the prompt list by the fan-made anime music videos. Doesn't that make you feel awful? Doesn't it make you feel like God giving talents and gifts to people is a waste of time and that evil has already won? Because if it doesn't, it should. It really, really fucking should. At number 2, Running in the 90s. I'll explain internet memes to you. They're born in hell, they propagate in the petri dish of the Chan boards, they fester in the student cupboard of Encyclopedia Dramatica, get preserved in amber in the sterile mummobile of Know Your Meme, and then they go to You're the Man Now Dog. Oh, You're the Man Now Dog, where memes go to endure a painful eternal non-death like the undead asylum in Dark Souls. This song is responsible for the existence of more animated GIFs than cats falling off of things, and I get a royalty straight from your soul for every one that gets clicked. And at number 1, Witch Doctor. Ross Bagdasarian Sr. released Witch Doctor in 1958 on the Liberty label. He achieved the sped-up effect of the Witch Doctor's voice by recording a gramophone record of himself at double speed. The technique proved so popular that later that year he used it on a Christmas single titled "Christmas Don't Be Late." He released this as Dave Seville and the Chipmunks, and it marked the first appearance of Alvin, Simon, and Theodore. 60 years later, we have Alvin and the Chipmunks, chipwrecked CGI in 3D, and that's pure fucking evil. Well, that's all for me for this week. I'm off to insert casual sexism into Hollywood films. Tooroo!
And at 3 o'clock here on BBC One, now it's time for Country File.
Hey, Dalek.
Yes?
Have you ever had a man chuck his creamy, sticky mess in your face?
How do you do? My name's Dalek Sex. Do you know what I like to do during my free time?
Well, have you ever had 4 men stand in front of you and unload a fist of gooey muck in your general direction?
That's an absolutely scandal. Yeah, I have.
Well, you'll never guess what I was up to the weekend before last. Actually, you might guess.
Were you moonlighting as a plasterer's radio?
I was in a little village called Cox Heath. You couldn't make it up. Not far from here, about an hour from where I live.
Is it anywhere near the Paths of Headless Cross?
Paths of Headless Cross. It's in Surrey, and it every year since 1967, it's held the World Custard Pie Throwing Championship, and I went down there with Kelly, my missus, and we watched the pandemonium unfurl. It was thoroughly entertaining.
Whoa, what? All this time you were talking about custard?
I know, who'd have thought?
Who else but Ham Hock? I'll make a little jingle to go in there.
I could reuse that bastard.
It's Ham Hock, you just never know what he's gonna do next.
Yeah, basically, it's basically like a village fete. No one really, it's just got an attendance which appears pretty local, but there are loads and loads of teams. Teams of 4, they basically stand in front of one another, and they throw what is a mixture of water and flour. It's supposed to be custard, but obviously it's expensive custard, at each other. And this seems like it's a little bit chaotic, but there are 4 referees watching each match, 4 players. Each player has 5 pies each on a table behind them, and the referees score 8 points for a headshot, 5 points for a body shot, and 3 points for a peripheral glancing shot. And there are about 30 rounds of matches, and which ended in a final where you had 4 big burly guys, each with 7 pies each, slapping the shit out of each other with custard pies. It was thoroughly entertaining.
The Grimmers and the Shrimp Shack Shooters, ready, steady, fire!
Right in his face straight away.
What would be the most entertaining way to disrupt that event? Would it be to enter a team and play, have you all playing as if you were playing a first-person shooter? Like teabagging people and shouting, boom, headshot, and my house, bitch!
It's not beyond what you could get away with, because you've got to enter in fancy dress. So while it's very serious, and there are people there monitoring the rules, making sure that you only score within the rules of the game. Everyone's in fancy dress, so there's a lot of drag, there's a lot of silliness going on. It basically looks like a festival of bukkake. There's lots of collateral damage if you're near to the arena. Plenty of splatter flying through the air, hitting you. We should enter a Holocaust team. Absolutely.
I think we should enter a team of 10-year-olds and give them a lot of coke before they go in. So they end up, like, back to back, completely paranoid, gnawing their knuckles with blood running down their chins, clutching the pies, going, "We must protect this house! We must protect this house! We must protect this house! We must protect this house!"
Yeah, there was one of the highlights of the day. I say day, we're there for 3 hours. One of the highlights was a world record attempt where one guy would stand there bent over with his hands on his knees, and then a second gentleman would push at close range, not throwing, push a pie, a plate of foam in this instance, in the face of this gentleman. But he would do it over the course of a minute. And the idea was to get as many pies in this guy's face in a minute as possible. And the record was 56, and he got 59 in the end. To say it was farcical would be an understatement. It was very amusing seeing a gentleman take it in the face in public.
So we've gone from covering rural newspapers to rural events. God, we're out on the bleeding stump here.
I know. Hey, Dalek.
Yes?
Do you want to talk about apps?
I'd love to talk about apps. Thank you for asking.
Sex talks about apps. Uh-huh.
What have you been playing? What have you been buying this week, stranger?
Well, quite a lot. First on the list is Pixely People Making Movies. You heard of this one?
I've heard the title. Actually, I think I might have seen a tweet or two from you.
It is a vertical puzzle-y game in the style of, what's it called? Tiny Towers. There are only 4 levels, and it's divided up into 3-minute challenges.
Yeah.
The top level is the soundstage where the acting and the filming takes place. Then underneath that you have got special effects, then the sound department under there, and the bottom of the screen is the editing room. And a canister of film sort of like drops down 1 level at a time every time it's finished in one department. Now, the skill of the game is twofold. First of all, you have to decide how much work goes from each department onto each canister, and you can allocate up to 8 points of work to each film canister. Now, when you choose, at the start of the round, you have to choose a genre and choose a style. So, for example, you can have a zombie romance, you can have a costume action movie with, powdered wigs and Sense and Sensibility type shit, and explosions. And each of these will affect how many points each department is worth. For example, action movies obviously give you a big multiplier for the special effects department, whereas indie movies are all about the editing. Here's another important point. Every so often, one of your staff members will get a good idea, and they start glowing in the colour of a particular department. For example, they might have a really good idea for a special effect, or a really good idea for a cut. And if you can get them to that department, then you will get a double multiplier while that's happening. Now, the other thing that you have to manage is negative traits in your staff. For example, some characters are bad-tempered. And if they become bad-tempered, then everyone they touch, it's sort of like the vomit chain in theme park and theme hospital. Everyone they touch will become angry too, and it spreads like a virus, and you have to move them apart to separate departments until they calm down.
A smile is contagious, so is being an asshole.
Some of the characters are boring. And they have a chance that every so often they will start talking about their pet subjects, such as, Monster Hunter or Kamen Rider, to pull 2 examples completely out of the air.
Yeah, well, I do sympathise.
And anybody who touches them will go to sleep and get no work done.
Or even talks to them, maybe during some sort of a creative recording session.
So yeah, marvellous game. It follows the app tradition of taking established genres and chopping them up into 3-minute chunks. Just the same way that Clash of Clans does with the RTS genre, this does with the comedy management simulation genre that Peter Molyneux used to be so fond of. Due to your bad park planning, one of the little people has got stuck. No, Peter, due to your broken, feckless, fucking game code, one of my little people is in the middle of a tree.
But it's currently developing a comedy marketing simulator.
Peter
globally.
Molyneux's life is a comedy marketing simulator.
Molyneux.
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 You know what? That inside the cube, there was actually originally going to be a lovely pie that would have made everyone happy. But Peter Molyneux opened the cube, and inside was only Paul from the Games Cast, curled up asleep with bits of pie crumb all over his face.
At least one person was satisfied by the outcome of Curiosity then.
Yeah, I suppose so. Moving on. What else we got? Daddy was a thief.
Oh, but what apps have you been playing?
Very nice.
He stole my anal virginity. Stole way too Barb's anal virginity.
Put it in her bum womb. I saw Daddy Was a Thief on the App Store and bought it on the spot, on the strength of the title alone, pretty much. Do you remember Elevator Action?
I recall.
From the 1980s. It was a game where you start at the top of a building and have to work your way down.
Yes.
You take that format and you cross it with Mappy, which was a game about bouncing around in a similar building.
Right.
And Rampage, which was a game about smashing the shit out of everything.
Oh, yeah.
And you've got something that may resemble Daddy is a Thief with pachinko elements. Your daddy is a everyday workaday jobs worth salary man who gets laid off from his company. So he decides in a sort of like Breaking Bad style scenario, he decides to learn how to rob banks. And the game starts with Daddy, who is an instantly relatable character. He looks utterly hapless. It starts off with him running out of the bank, jumping onto the roof of a nearby skyscraper, and he has to get to the floor to escape from police. Now, Daddy is so fat that every time you jump, he literally smashes through the floor below. And anything you smash on the way down, like petrol canisters, televisions, fridges, and so on, cause even more destruction. If you jump into a bath, you go down several floors at a time.
Oh, blimey.
It's just really, really, really addictive. Fantastically good fun.
I enjoyed you talking about that app, Sex.
Yes, there was one more.
Go for it.
Dead Ahead.
Dead Ahead.
Dead Ahead.
On the paths of Headless Cross.
I would say this one is in my top 3 endless runners, along with Cannabolt and Jetpack Joyride. It's very similar to Jetpack Joyride, only instead of going up and down by jetting, you're going up. You have a moped and you're driving up and down to avoid obstacles.
Ooh.
Now, this is an endless runner done in the style of survival horror.
Oh.
As you drive, you have a running zombie horde in the style of Left 4 Dead, which the game parodies heavily, running after you. And you have to balance your speed against being actually able to see the obstacles and get out of the way of them. You can fire backwards using a weapon, which is upgradable, but ammo isn't limited, but it takes a very long time to reload. Hitting obstacles and hitting zombies will slow you down, unless you're accelerating at the time, which in turn makes the bike more difficult to control. Now, given that this is a silly, cartoony parody of Left 4 Dead, and parody games are always risky territory, because even really, really good ones like The Oregon Trail suffer from it and send you away thinking, well, yeah, that was really good, but it was only a parody. You will be amazed at how well the survival horror element works. You're driving away, you're desperately dodging around things, you're running down zombies, and the blood tire physics work really well. Okay.
Some phrases are born for this show.
You're shooting over your shoulder with an Uzi trying to slow the horde down. You will be really surprised how much it actually gets to you sometimes.
Wow. I'll check that bad boy out.
Yes,
I'll check the blood tire physics.
It's free to play, and it's a quid or so to get rid of the adverts. You will probably want to throw in a quid or so to get rid of the adverts. Number one, because it's a fucking good game and the developers deserve it. And number two, because they basically cripple the game.
Which is all part of the game.
It's the circle of life.
It's a circle of life. Obama's birth.
Sex talks about apps. Uh-huh.
Hello, I'm a man. I work in a video shop. I'm the man for the video shop.
Re-record, not fade away. Re-record, not fade away. Re-record, not fade away.
It's been a rather pleasant time in the video shop. Takings have been up and we've seen a glut of new members coming in following a promotional customer drive. Of course, all these new customers bring with them new questions. One question in particular stood out, though. If I rent this movie and it frightens me, can I call you for some comfort? Bam! What a question, eh? Now, I want you to have a little think about what kind of customer this might have come from. An 18-year-old nubile young lady touching her hair while she talks flirtatiously. B, a 40-year-old blokey bloke with a tattoo on his face. Or C, the old lady who looks like she puts cats into litter bins on a Tuesday afternoon. Now, as much as I'd have loved it to be a scary, cat-bothering old lady, it was obviously the 40-year-old blokey bloke. I wouldn't be writing about it if it wasn't. He's the kind of bloke who opens beer bottles with his own mouth or slapping his children, all named after iconic footballers from northern clubs with the back of his hand. Not the clubs aren't from his back of his hand, it's gives of them. All the time glaring at his wife who dared to step out the kitchen, who looked genuine. He stood there with a copy of Hatchet 2 in his hand and genuinely asked as if he could call the shop for comfort. Now, the mean guy in me wanted to laugh in his face, but I offered, knowing I'd be long gone from the shop before he watched that film, the service on behalf of the store. I took payment and sent him on his way, smiling at the thought of that phone call coming in later on. It didn't, sadly, but it doesn't take away from the look on his face. His tattooed face. I can best compare it to that bit in Lethal Weapon after Riggs bottles his suicide attempt and just breaks down. The guy had a look on his face right before the tears flowed fully. I was filled with pity and amusement, a new emotion I'm choosing to call Pimusement. It's great if conflicting. I'm hoping the guy doesn't make a habit of making oddly emotional requests along with rentals for fear of him renting big mamas like Father Like Son and calling us up to get the number of a good hitman. It's often the blokey blokes who seem to show their emotional sides more often in the shop. Perhaps we can learn something from that. It's doubtful.
Re-record, not fade away. Re-record, not fade away. Re-record, not fade away.
Well, every so often we do a little feature on this Podcrafty show radio cast where we take some of the world's greatest xenophobic, stroke racist, stroke ignorant reviews from TripAdvisor.
We're doing foreign muck?
We are!
Oh, marvellous.
Foreign muck.
With Jim Lloyd in Magaluf and Judith Chalmers in Saint-Tropez.
I shall sit back and fortify myself with fortified wine.
There's a bit of continuity between them this week. See if you can catch it in the first two. This is the first one's from Sorador Hotel. In Malgre in Spain. Don't go to Sorador, Malgre de Mar. Staff are rude. We have come home with bites all over us, presuming from ants, which were found in our beds. This holiday was crap. The town is small but pleasant, but nothing to do there. For the last 3 days, waiting to go home, we found an English pub called the New Crown and Anchor, who were very hospitable and accommodated us excellently for the remainder of our stay. Just a pity they didn't do rooms. Yeah, it's good that they had this little haven, this safe haven, in this terrible foreign land full of terrorists.
And ants.
And ants.
Terrorist ants.
This then led me on to a second little review. See if you can spot the similarities. This is from a hotel called H. Top Panama Hotel in the same resort. Would go back. So it's quite positive. but there's a twist. Right, the food. I was really worried about it after hearing terrible things on here. I have been to Spain many times and like the food. I was worried for my other half. The only time we ate out was when we slept in and fancied an en-glace breakfast. So we went to the Crown, out of hotel, turned left, and on another night we had a curry. The Crown pub is very, very good for good, if you want good quality English food for a change, or want to watch the match. It is good for an English-style Indian curry too. I had tikka masala and it was good. Good. It was good. Just in case you were wondering whether that review was positive. But it goes on. A gentleman called Bluesman 1557 from Rochdale was staying in the Raymar Player in Maigret, Spain. And he had something else to say, and you might find it interesting. This hotel is kept very clean now that's the good part over with. Seems we copped for the Klage week from Holland. They said the Brits are noisy and so on. Well, these were far worse, and the so-called tutors who were looking after them, they were nowhere to be seen, letting them do as they pleased. Food. Below standard, had to keep warming up in microwave, so the so-called toaster was a joke. We ate out more often than not. Found a good places to eat pretty reasonable as well. Crown and Anchor was one of them. Their pucker pies were great, steaming hot, as they should be. Also, 100 yards from hotel, you had rows of bars, i.e. Rover's Return and Ulrika's, are just a few if you fancy a flutter, while away there is one bar. We'll take your bet. Best not mention it, but according to Jock, it's the only one in Malgré. Enough said. Weather was not brill, but we went for our honeymoon, not the rain. This coastline is more or less the same, as we have stayed in 3 diff places. Now we have decided crap is crap, so going back to Tenerife or Turkey for those who have already booked, good luck. You will need it for those who are thinking about it. Forgettit. So I'd share that wonderful, no punctuation there.
Oh, God.
So if anyone...
The terrorist ants have already won, haven't they? Tell you what I found interesting in that one, and that's that he said he had to keep heating the food in the microwave. Do you think he just kept forgetting it was there and wandering off?
Over and over and over.
Maybe distracted by a cloud that looked a bit like a Union Jack. Or the Queen.
Pop the food in the microwave, walk to window, look wistfully over the road at the Crown and Anchor, knowing that there's a good hot pucker pie waiting for him. But he's stuck with a triple microwaved pucker paella. Poor guy. Poor bluesman.
I'm just content right now to lay back and bask in the glory of having invented the word bumwoom. Would you like to say it with me? Bumwoom.
Bumwoom.
Bumwoom. I'll tell you what that sounds like. It sounds like the title of one of those poor quality children's shows from the 1980s about a magician, like Catweasel and Mr. Magica and Merlin in the Crystal Caves. Bumwoom. Bumwoom would be the hapless apprentice character to the king's enchantress or sorceress, and she would be called Denzel Washingtina. And every episode she would have something to do, and for reasons the plot never fully explained, she had to rely on this incompetent apprentice called Bumwoom. So, like, the king would be like, "Enchantress, make me a potion!" And she'd be off, and she'd say, "Bumwoom, fetch me my book of spells!" And Bumwoom, he would be played by Ricky Gervais. doing his heartbreakingly earnest voice, and he'd say, "Oh, I so wish that Mistress Bon Jovina, or whatever I said a minute ago, would notice me. I think I'll cast the spell myself. I'm sure I can do it. It would be so easy, and she'd love me so much. But then, of course, Bunwin would fuck it up, and he'd make it rain. He'd make it rain sex toys, and nobody would get any work done because actors and magic wands and Dutch wives would be raining from the sky. One woman was crushed by a falling Sibian. She didn't mind. She died with a smile on her face.
Oh, God.
And the enchantress would be like, "Bum-woom!"
There's a dog around the corner from us which has got a cleft palate, and that's the noise it makes when it barks. That and Mark. Keep thinking it's shouting my middle name. Good. It was good.
If you've enjoyed the Holocaust, why not try these other fine holiday destinations? Visit the Picturesque Monday Movie Show, which has basically the only movie reviews worth a fuck now that Ebert's curled his feet up. Make a side journey to the quaint Gamescast to enjoy their fine wines, gaming chit-chat, and to meet Britain's only spherical human. On Friday, the circus comes to town, courtesy of the Mature Gamer podcast and its fascinating menagerie, including the coated man and the girl who can only communicate via sex noises. And for those of richer blood, no true connoisseur of burping and swearing at the internet can afford to miss What a Fool Believes, the web's second finest purveyors of aliens references and saying cunt a lot.